It's absolutely the greatest time to find really, really good deals that are lender owned, because lenders don't want to own real estate. What they want is to find somebody that can take it off their hands and manage it well, and they want to loan against it to a good borrower. So we're looking at a lot of projects.
Do you see a difference across the country? Is it the same for multifamily everywhere, or is there markets that are doing better than others?
Oh, definitely. There's definitely markets that are doing better. So there's a number of variables. The first variable that is obviously easy is an overbuilding. There were over 500,000 units added to the U.S. in 2025.
Of multifamily?
Yeah. So, okay, so where? That's the real question, right? Atlanta, Dallas, Phoenix, wherever. So you start to look at, where did they add that supply? Like the 4 months free. 4 months free, I can already tell you, that's because there's a whole bunch of new supply added in an area and they're all competing with each other for one tenant or two tenants, That's how it works. That's called absorption. So you wait until those get absorbed. They will be good deals at some point. The question is, how long does it take, right? Is it 1 year, 2 years? What is it? That's kind of the game. So certainly supply is a big factor, and that can completely disrupt the market. It's a great opportunity for a tenant. Really, really good opportunity. So I have an
to go and negotiate rents.
Yeah. So I have an employee, for example, that works for me, and I said, you got to go over to this new place, and because you're living in a 30, 40-year-old property, you ought to go over here and move into this brand new one and get your 4 months free. Your rent's going to be less. You got a parking, you got elevator. It's gorgeous. It's a really good time in a lot of respects to be a resident, a tenant, for sure. Now, so that's one thing. The other thing is population and employment growth, right? So we see all these stories of companies kind of moving around, right, based on all the things that are going on in
the policies, or if
that,
there's
right? Yeah, they're
strategic locations for them.
So you see that. As that happens, that creates demand somewhere else, right? So if they pull out of here, they pull out of Portland and they go to Phoenix, now all of a sudden you've got a couple hundred people that are going to be hired or move there or whatever. It creates demand in that particular market for housing, for rentals, for restaurants, for schools, for whatever. Population migration patterns are extremely important as you start to look at that. In Phoenix, which is where I live, we have the Taiwan semiconductor plant, right, which is billions of dollars, incredible facility that they're building in North Phoenix. It's adding thousands of jobs. And of course, all around it is, the housing, the multifamily, the corner shopping centers and all that, all the infrastructure has to be built too. That's what you look for. You look for investing into the path of progress, and you look for migration patterns of people. Where are they going and why? And what kind of jobs are they? So that's what we look at when we're investing. So it really depends on the market. The Midwest, oddly enough, has done extremely well. It didn't bubble and it didn't pop. Actually, I've invested personally in some properties in like Columbus, Ohio and Cleveland, Ohio. There are markets that are doing remarkably well. And there are markets that are overbuilt right now, like Las Vegas is definitely overbuilt right now. So it's experiencing this high concession, high vacancy time period. But if you look at the population growth, it's still good. So if you can buy it today when the numbers aren't great, and so how long, right? Do you want to catch a falling knife, right? And so how long do you hold that? 1 year, 2 years? So you just reserve the amount of cash for that time period, and then at some point, you just do the calculation. How many people are coming, and how many months do I have to hold this thing until it starts to stabilize? And is there any new construction? And if all that checks out, then you might want to make an investment there. So that's some of how we decide on where to go.
Which markets do you see opportunity right now, and you feel confident that will do well?
There's a lot, actually. If you look at like Boise, for example, Salt Lake City, Phoenix, Tucson, we're looking at Dallas, certainly. So those are the markets that we're looking at. I know a lot of people that are doing things in Charlotte, Nashville, Atlanta. You start to look at there's a few little hacks that I'll give some of your viewers that we use. One very obvious one is out-of-state driver's licenses. So, for example, like when
to
you
find out how many new people
of
are
course.
coming.
Yeah, like when a family moves somewhere, they go. They're supposed to at least. They go get a new driver's license. Okay, that's a data point, right? U-Haul and North American Van Lines, they actually publish data. You can actually go online right now and type in U-Haul, and you'll see, who moved from Phoenix to Atlanta or who moved from Seattle to Phoenix, one way. Now, it's not perfect, but you can do that. There's also cell phones, right? So during the pandemic, they were doing this, like how many people were taking the subway? How many people are in the city of San Francisco? Oddly enough, that's a data point. So there's these things that you can use to kind of see what's happening, and then you could be on the forefront of that. We use all of those things, including employment. Employment's the easy one because that always is in the paper. This XYZ company moved here and brought 500 employees, or they're opening a division or whatever it is. Those have always been around, but now there's all these other ways that show up. The thing that's interesting is, like anything, it takes so long to build something, right? Like an apartment building, because we have a lot of properties under construction. Apartment building will take almost 2 years to finish, from beginning to end. We don't even open the office for a year, and then we're still under construction, and so we're leasing up a 200, 300, 400 unit apartment project. It could take 2 to 3 years to lease up something like that. The reason why that's important is as people are moving, they're creating the urgency themselves. The occupancies are up high. So if you see a market where it has really high occupancy and no concessions, and there's a lot of people moving there, that might be a market we want to invest in, because especially if there's not a lot of new supply. So there's a reason a lot of people are moving somewhere, and you're going to have the demand. And it can work quite the opposite too, right? So
If people are getting out of...
you could own something. It's happened to me for sure. You can own something, and like we had properties down near the border in Sierra Vista, Arizona, and the Border Patrol's there, and also is Fort Huachuca. It's a military base. So when there's a military deployment, our occupancy goes down, right? As the Border Patrol hires or lays off people, which happens. I just saw this week, Amazon's laying off another 12,000 people. That has massive real estate implications, because those people, maybe they get jobs, maybe they stay local, maybe they don't. There's all kinds of things that happen. And so they stop going to a grocery store, or they take their kids out of a school, or whatever it is. So those kinds of things are really important, and they all have implications based on whatever real estate class you're investing in.
In terms of rents,
Yep.
How much do they fluctuate?
A lot.
In areas where they don't have rent control,
Yep.
what does it look like?
So rent, it's a great question. So rent actually fluctuates based on supply and demand. So demand are the people that are there, and supply, of course, are the number of vacant units.